Hi everyone, Mark DeJesus here, bringing you insights for your healing and freedom journey. I love encouraging people in their mental, emotional, and relationship health. And I think what I'm going to talk about today is something everybody can relate to. If you can't, then I don't think I can relate to you. It's this issue of feeling stuck, feeling like I'm going around the mountain, and feeling like I'm a broken record. I want to take these three statements here, and I want to look at them and ask a question. What do these things really mean? And I want to look at how can we begin working through them more effectively, because many of us get stuck and feeling stuck, going around the mountain, having a broken record in our journey. Do you feel that? Many times we can be a broken record. We're saying the same things over and over again. We have the same story about where we're at. We're repeating it over and over again. We're saying the same responses, asking the same questions. And this broken record often makes us feel stuck, right? Then there's this metaphor we use, I'm just going around the mountain, same old, same old, same old, same old, and it seems like nothing's changing, nothing's happening, and we get very frustrated. We go back to feeling stuck. Now, in my years of experiencing this in my own life and in helping others, I found that what we first got to do is we first got to look at these issues with compassion. Because what we often do is we judge ourselves harshly, we beat ourselves up. Other people get sick of hearing our same broken record. They're telling you you're going around the mountain. They're tired of hearing your stuck story, so they can get harsh on you, right? It's a part of life. We're not going to judge them, beat them up. We're going to look, though, with compassion, because compassion looks at where you're at and feeling stuck, as a father would a son who needs help, as a father would a daughter who needs help. When we're kids, we are in need of someone to help us, right? I remember when my son was learning to swim and he was very, very young. And one day he was like, Dad, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And I was trying to tell him something, but because he was yelling, he was drowning so much, he couldn't hear me saying to him, Max, just stand up. And when I was able to break through with that statement, he just stood up and went, oh, he actually wasn't drowning. He just needed to stand up. And the water wasn't over his head. And many times what we need is a simple instruction, because we're all just kids on our journey. When you feel yourself stuck going around the mountain, or you feel like you have a broken record, it reveals that you're hitting a spot in your journey where you're hitting a cap in your learning. Now, this isn't a limitation God is putting on you. He's not holding you back. He's not blocking you. It's just revealing, when you find yourself saying this, it's revealing at this stage in the journey, I have some more equipping that I need. I have some new things I need to welcome in my life. But before I get to that, we've got to look compassionately at this, because we often get so angry, right? We're stuck and we're angry. We're angry at God. We're angry at ourselves. We're angry at the world around us. We're going round the mountain, stupid, round the mountain. Then we hate where we're at. Then we're self-loathing. Then we get into self-pity. Then we get into victim thinking, right? And then we beat ourselves. I'm a broken record. I'm saying the same thing all the time. Look at it compassionately. I remember a few times in my life where a loving friend said to me, yeah, I heard you kind of saying the same thing before. And I saw that instead of shame and condemnation, I received it as helpful information. If you find yourself being a broken record, what's annoying about a broken record is that it's gotten off its track of its flow to get to the next track, to get to the next song. It's just creating a sound that's not doing anything productive, right? We're just hearing repeat, 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 repeat. And what we once loved, we're now annoyed by. And the music of your journey, so to speak, is gotten stuck in a rut that it needs loving compassion to see, okay, I'm going to see this as helpful information. I keep repeating myself. 2, if you look at going around the mountain with compassion, this is what you may see. Do you know we actually need to go around the mountain a few times to figure it out? Many of you in life see yourself as a failure, and you haven't let yourself practice. So sometimes you got to go around the mountain a few times to learn, and each pass, you could learn something new each pass around as you're going through that situation. You may react the same way every time. You go down the same pathway. Well, each time it happens, you can learn something new, providing you become a compassionate witness to yourself rather than being your own worst enemy. If you look compassionately at stuck, it's revealing I'm hitting a cap where my beliefs, the way I look at things, the equipping that I have needs an upgrade. It helps us to admit, not in shame, this isn't beating yourself up. This is a new area of growth and maturity, and maturity often requires healing. I've got to heal in an area so I can then mature in that area as well too. Okay? So what would it look like if you looked at your broken record around the mountain being stuck with compassion? So as we set the stage for compassion, for grace, okay, I'm going to invite a more loving and more empowering perspective. What we have to realize is it's time to welcome the new. This place of feeling stuck is showing there is new that I need to welcome. I'm at a place where it's out with the old, in with the new. And this can be very, very challenging because we can be very stubborn in our ways. We can be very fixed. We can be very loyal to our pattern. And we can say things like, I've done everything. I'm stuck and I've done everything. And now we get loyal to our way of doing things. And we're not inviting the new. And so what this stuck around the mountain broken record reveals is there is new levels of learning that I need to invite that I currently don't have. This is actually an invitation for me to learn what I don't know. There are things I don't know I'm not applying that I need to. I'm going to open myself up to that. There's new equipping I need in my life, where there's ways I deal with my emotions and the way I cope and that are not helpful for me. So I'm going to welcome that equipping. We could also say new mindsets. There's a way I'm seeing things and my perspectives that I may need to challenge some of these beliefs and some of these perspectives that I have in my life that are actually not working to build my faith up, to help empower my journey. And many times we say, I've done everything. And that's just not true. We have new application that we need to invite. And it may be, you know what? There's a new perspective of I need to give application time in my life. I need to allow myself to apply this and give time for it to happen. You see, I found in my journey when I would hit limitations, I would go into a victim mindset. I would go into, God, where are you? What am I missing? I would shame myself. I would focus on I'm doing everything wrong or there's something I'm missing. Nope, it's not about what you're not doing. It's not about what you're doing wrong. It's about new learning. This season that you're in is an opportunity for new learning. Compassion points us to everything's about learning. It's about maturing your sons and daughters. It's about growing. And realize, this is important, the word stretching is important. In order for me to move where I am and get new insights and help in where I need to go with my mental, emotional health or my life or my journey, my marriage, parenting, whatever it is, I need to let myself stretch. Now, a big part of this is we have to welcome with humility, because when we're stuck, we can often be so loyal to our story that we become stubborn to welcoming the new. We can even be prideful. That's for you to discern. That's for you to figure out. But humility says, I'm teachable. I'm willing to learn what I need to learn. I'm willing to fill ignorance with knowledge and understanding. I'm willing to fill knowledge with application. I'm able to be taught. I want to see the season that I'm in as a place of learning, so I embrace this season I'm in. Like, well, I should be over here and this is happening, this is hard. Embrace it. Compassion helps us to embrace, okay, so you're going around the mountain? Okay, what can I learn? Okay, you feel like you're a broken record? What's the broken record saying that I need to challenge? I'm going to lovingly notice it. I keep saying that over and over again. That's not serving the journey I'm on. I keep saying, well, why do I feel like I'm stuck? Then maybe that thought needs to be challenged so I can welcome better, more empowering beliefs for my journey. So here's the challenge in moving forward. The challenge is we have to look at our story. What's the story that you live by? If I was to use biblical terminology, what's the testimony you're living by? Or we could look even the biblical word report, when the Bible said, whose report will you believe? our story, our testimony, report. It's the narrative that we listen to that interprets where we've been, where we are, and where we're headed. And a lot of that gets infected with a stuck, around the mountain, broken record story that needs to be interrupted and needs compassionate empowerment to move forward. But here's the challenge. Our story is very, very, very familiar. A lot of our patterns go back to our upbringing, our family, our generations, how we've coped, what we've done for so long. We've only known what we've done. So sometimes we can't understand a different perspective and we need some new learning in order to do that. Our story is often very comfortable. It may be keeping you stuck, keeping you disempowered, but it's very comfortable. It's all we know. So there's a tendency whenever we need to step into the new, we have this pull to go back into the old. Why? Because it's comfortable and familiar. And many of our patterns are familial, meaning they run in our generations and they just repeat over and over and over again until someone humbly welcomes a new mindset that's empowering. And in a lot of the mental health work I do, I encourage that it be built on truth that sets us free. Power, love, sound mind, as Paul talked about. Faith, hope, and love. Those are metrics we need to build our thoughts around because God is always building love in our lives, building our hope, and helping us to step out in faith on the hope that we're cultivating in our lives. But our story is familiar, it's comfortable. Here's the thing, it looks for validation. So if you focus in on an interpretation of your story, I can never catch a break, God doesn't love me, you'll look for verification. See that happen. See, nothing good happens for me. We create a cognitive bias. Beware of the filter by which you look at your world, because then what happens is it can make us very loyal to a disempowered story over our life. And so I want to encourage you, beware of being loyal to an old story that keeps repeating. It may be that the story, the report of the Lord needs to be invited into your life, that you can see things the way that God sees them. And He's always working through faith, hope, and love. He's very compassionate and merciful, yet He's adding power to your journey, edifying, building up, so that we can begin to walk in the grace that He's called us to walk in, because grace is His empowerment working in our lives. But I had to realize, and I had to get honest with myself in love. Mark, you're listening to the same old story, and you're going around the mountain. Now, it's okay, but it would be unloving to just keep you staying in that. Let's welcome the new learning. Welcome yourself up to new mindsets, to allow your story to be renewed that, hey, today's a day I can learn new approaches in how I'm dealing with things so that I can walk in greater empowerment. So what step can you take today? What new can you invite to take that journey? And one of the things you may want to consider is to take the heart healing journey. I've written a book on this, and I encourage you to take hold of that, and you can explore a new pathway in your life of healing, freedom, awakening in your heart and life. I pray most of all this be an encouragement to you. So Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll see you next time for some more empowering insights for your healing and freedom journey. God bless you.